Hello everyone, this is Frank DiMora with the Last Chronicles of Planet Earth. If you are at my YouTube channel and you just discovered my YouTube channel, I'd like to invite you to go to my prophecy site. You'll see it here, BibleProphecyMan.com. And once you're at my site, you just scroll down like this and you'll see the book. And below the book, you'll see a link to the Last Chronicles of Planet Earth. Just click this link and you can download the book today for free. I'm going to get right into some prophecy here. Yesterday in my report and the day before, I would give you some information about a person who goes by the name of Terrell03. I showed you in the last few days that he has been predicting events that were going to occur, and he's also said that he is the son of or he is the Son of Man, he is God, and he is Adam. And I also gave you the video where he said that. You can just scroll down for the last couple of days and you will see that. Now, what I wanted to show you this, because it is important, since today is the day after of one of his predictions that he said was going to take place. Now, in one of the predictions that I was referring to, let me go right to it. You'll see here, let me just play this, because this says earthquake warning for March 22nd. This is his statement where he actually says that this event is going to take place. It's for a sure thing. Now, when you go to my site, you'll see that I have posted you the very places that he marked that this is going to happen for certain. You'll see that right here at the 54 mark. And I mean, there's no question about it. He said this is going to happen for sure, for certain. Listen to the one section.
On the astrology, on the charts, things like that, March 22nd, this is going to be a big day. For certain, this is going to be a big day. Even if there's no heavy mass object, this is going to be a big day.
All right, so now knowing that, let me go back to today's post, because the Lord told us to beware of wolves dressed like sheep or lambs. It says, beware of false prophets who come in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are raving wolves. Luke 21:8, he tells us this, and he said, take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying that I am Christ. And the time draweth near. Go ye not thereafter them. So, in other words, when you hear people making statements that they're God and they're predicting, and those things don't come to pass, you should have taken notice of what the Lord had said and do not follow what they say. Because if you do, then you're just leading yourself up to get in a lot of trouble. And so, again, in today's post, I gave you the exact places where he made those statements. And of course, I want to go to today's news, because yesterday, this is what happened as far as the earthquakes go. There was 3 earthquakes when I looked. It was 5.2, 5.0, and 5.2. Now, let me ask you a question. This man said, the man who was claiming to be God, doesn't know very much, and his predictions have failed. And so, show me somewhere in the news where there was a 10-point earthquake that hit on March the 22nd, 2012. Show me anywhere where there was a 9-point earthquake that hit. And for that matter, show me anywhere that there was even a 6-point earthquake that hit. The fact of the matter is, there wasn't any. None. And for anybody who is following this Terrell man, you're following a false prophet. And all I can say is, listen to the word of the Lord. Now that you know that it's exposed, he's exposed, and he's actually the wolf underneath. And again, he's charging people. A couple days ago, I put up a video. I showed you the subscribe section of his site. I didn't do that because I wanted people to subscribe to this man, Terrell03. I did that because I wanted to show you that he was actually charging And anybody who charges for the word of the Lord, to me, is offensive. And I pointed that out. And I really believe that anybody, for example, who's on the internet can get information about the Lord, about the Bible, and get it to people for free. There's no reason why anyone should be able to be charging people to get the word of the Lord. And so there you have it. Now, you can either keep following this false prophet and this false Christ who claims to be Adam as well, or you can just take this information and say, that's it. I'm going to delete his site. I'm not going to listen to him anymore, because all you're going to do is get fear instilled in you when predictions like this fail. Now, let's go to some other prophecy here. And this is a prophecy about the Lord telling us in the last days we should be watching for droughts and heat. You'll see this here in the scriptures. I give you a host of different scriptures that are related to the intense signs from the sun, what's going to happen. You'll see that there's going to be problems with scorching the people with fire, and obviously the planet is warming up, and there's going to be sores on their skin. There's going to be signs again from the sun, which we are seeing with the solar flares. Also, the people are going to thirst. They're going to be hungry. We know from other scriptures that there's going to be droughts. You'll see it all here in these scriptures if you just take the time which are at my site to read them. But we do know that the droughts have been coming, and when you go into my book, you'll see all the stats, all the statistics about all the different droughts that have been happening. I give a timeline for my book for every section, and you will see over the years how bad things are getting, and these are signs of Mark 13:8, the signs of the birth pangs. Now this is a picture, as you see here, it's a dock that once floated in a Medina lake, and this was taken January 19th. The lake was 52 feet below the normal level, and here's this dock with these two chairs. It's just unbelievable what the drought situation is like in Texas. So let me go back, and now this is only one of the articles that is dealing with droughts around the world. So it says that Texas agriculture producers lost 7.62 billion to the state's 2011 drought, which experts said makes it the costliest drought in the state's history and possibly the most expensive drought ever suffered by any state. No one alive has seen single-year drought damage to this extent, said Travis Miller, an agriculture economic at the Texas A&M University. The Texas farmers and ranchers are not strangers to drought, but the intensity of the drought reflected in record high temperatures, record low participation, which means we're not getting rainfall, which affects also the people, the amount of water people will be able to access to be drinking. It says unprecedented winds coupled with duration all came together to devastate production agriculture. Now, when this keeps happening, well, just go to the grocery store and see what happens when you have events that are destroying the crops, whether it be from floods, wind damage, from pestilence, or whatever it may be, or drought. The cost of food goes up when the crops are damaged. So this is indications, a small indication of the larger picture that you will get when you read my book, where I document everything that's happening concerning the droughts. But these signs are all taking place at the same time. Now here's another one. This I'm going to put two in here, two prophecies, because I believe that they're related, and you'll see how I'm going to tie them together. Daniel 12:4 informs the reader that the last generation will be known for the increase in knowledge. And then we do know from Revelation 13 verses 16 through 17, this is where the Lord shows us the Antichrist is going to put a mark in everybody's skin during the tribulation, or at least he's going to make that attempt to do so. It It says, and he causes all, okay, not just some, but he's going to go after everybody. Small, are both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, so everybody is going to be involved in this, whether you're free walking around or whether you're even in jail, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So there's three different items here where the Lord is pointing to this man. It's a form of worship. When you take this mark, it is signifying that you are worshiping this Antichrist. And as a matter of fact, the people who are left behind after the rapture, who are left behind to face the Antichrist, the Lord is very merciful. He's going to send an angel to fly around the world to warn people not to take the mark of the beast. Because if you take this mark, you seal your fate to hell, lake of fire forever. And so, knowing that, our generation has been the generation picked out to increase in knowledge. I wanted to show you that how you tie this in here, because no other generation in ever would have been able to do what this generation is doing. Now, when the Lord is referring to the right hand and in the right hand or in the foreheads, there's all kinds of technology now that is being evasive to the body. In other words, they're putting chips, they're putting different objects in the body for science, and I document all this kind of information in my book as well. And here's a new one. Take a look at this. It is the pharmacy inside your body. This is an article about chips, tiny chips that will be placed in your body. Now, I do have, when you scroll down on my site, you'll see that there's two different articles there that you can click onto, and I'm just going to tie in some of the what I saw as some of the most important part of this article. It said that the BBC News says that we are a step closer to microchips that can be implanted under the patient's skin. Remember what the Lord said? In the skin? Well, here we go. The technology, the last days, this generation has the technology to put a chip under the skin to control the release of drugs. Now, this is another section I quoted. It says, this was a small cohort study of a drug delivery microchip implanted under the skin. The microchip contains tiny drug reservoirs and can be programmed to a wireless release discrete doses of medication. So you'll have this put into your skin, and at a certain time there will be doses of this medication that will be released. And there's some things about this that we see from this article that is kind of disturbing. It says most of the coverage of the story was good. However, alongside the Independent's main article, the newspaper featured an option-based section discussing potential uses of the device, including allowing the psychiatrist to trigger doses of schizophrenic patients when they resist injections of medication. There is a distant difference between using the medical devices to structure the delivery of medication and using them to force people to take medication against their will. And so, hey, let's go back and see what the Lord had to say, because this is essentially what's going to happen during the tribulation period. If you want to buy anything, if you want to sell anything, you're going to have to take the chip, because if you don't take the chip, you will be fending for yourself. You're not going to be able to buy anything, sell anything, so you're going to have to forage food or do whatever you can to stay alive during that time. But look at, during that time, while you're trying to stay alive, fending for yourself, they're going to be hunting you down. But here's the bottom line. So we see what the Lord had warned us. We see this almost like forerunners of what the Lord showed us, that they're placing this technology, this type of technology in the skin. Now, obviously, this isn't the mark of the beast, but is definitely signs of increased knowledge that is driving this society to the mark of the beast and that kind of technology. And it could only happen in our generation, the generation that the Lord told us this would happen. This kind of increased knowledge would take place. Now, also in Bible prophecy, when you read the book of Luke, in verse 11, you're going to find out that the Lord had given us a host of different signs to look at. We've already covered the earthquakes, and there's definitely many of those earthquakes and famines because of the droughts. Now let's look at the pestilences. And again, this is only a microcosm of what's taking place. Now, in this article, India swine flu outbreak kills 12. I'm going to click to this. Let's go right to that article. There you go. India swine flu outbreak kills 12. 12 people have died of swine flu in India since the beginning of March, the country's health ministry says. Half of the deaths have been reported from the western state of Madhya Pradesh. Excuse me for not pronouncing these names correct. But it says that nearly 130 others have been infected with the virus and many of them admitted to hospitals. The cause of the sudden outbreak is not clear. The virus killed more than 450 Indians when it first emerged in 2009. So it's coming back again, and they don't know, as the article said, they don't know what's really causing it. The health ministry is monitoring the situation. There is no cause for worry. Oh yeah, right, until you get it. The states where cases had been reported had been advanced to step up surveillance to control the further spread of the virus. So, they're sending in people not to spread it, but don't worry about it. If you get it, it's obviously something that you should be concerned about, especially when you're in high population areas. Because as you squeeze people together, you have more probability of transporting the disease to someone else. And so we know that when you read my book, you're going to see that over the course of these years, as I documented in my book, there's all kinds of different diseases that have made their way into the world again. Diseases that are now called the superbugs, that there isn't any antibiotics to cure. And diseases that were once eradicated are coming back, like TB. We see not only diseases for people, but also for animals and fish, which I also document in my book to show you what's happening around the world and all the fish and the animals that are dying. Strange events that are wiping out birds and fish all over the place. And there's a host of information of that sort at my site. Now here's another prophecy. This prophecy is found in Psalm 83. That prophecy has to deal with a war that is coming against Israel, and I'll show you who it is, all of the names of the people who will be attacking Israel in this war are listed from 1 to 10. On the left, they are the Old Testament names, and then on the right, you'll see the new names, modern day names, of which Egypt is going to be involved in that war. You'll see it right here. Just look at number 4, the Hagarenes. Now, this is important because this war, I believe, is coming up very, very fast. We see the events of this in the news. And in my reports, if you Google Frank DiMora and Brotherhood will destroy peace agreement with Israel, Frank DiMora's warning of Brotherhood taking over. Back a year ago, I told people to please watch, because when Mubarak was leaving office because there was an Arab uprising against him, we know from scripture in the book of Isaiah that there was going to be an evil ruler coming to Egypt. And the scriptures tell us, you could read, if you will, read Isaiah chapter 18 and 19, because those chapters talk about what's going to happen in the last days. And it's really interesting. But we do know that Egypt is going to be one of the nations that are going to be attacking Israel. And so knowing that, I told the people, please watch, because you're going to see an Islamic group taking over with Sharia law. And these people hate Israel, and they are working for the destruction of Israel. And back in a year ago, the Muslim Brotherhood said they weren't even going to put up a president, running for a president. And I told the people, don't believe what you're going to hear, because the Bible shows that Egypt is coming against Israel. So you'll know that whoever gets in office, they are going to oppose Israel. They're going to be looking for the destruction of Israel, and you definitely have that through the Muslim Brotherhood. Now, did my warning come to pass? Well, just look at this. Let's click onto the article. It'll just take a few seconds for this article to come up. Get rid of this. And you'll see here it says Egypt's, let me push this up here, Egypt's Brotherhood mulling run for president. It says the Muslim Brotherhood, Egypt's most powerful political group, said Wednesday it is considering running its own candidate in upcoming presidential elections, dropping its previous decision to avoid direct participation in the race. Exactly what I said. And the group appears to be playing one of its last cards in a power struggle against the ruling military council after it failed to force the military to replace its cabinet with a new one appointed by the Islamic-dominated parliament. And this cruel leader is coming. Let me scroll down a little bit more. It says, if a brotherhood fields a candidate and wins the presidency, the group would control the two main branches of power, the parliamentary elections, the first since the popular uprising unseated President Hosni Mubarak last year. It won nearly half the seats. Since then, the Brotherhood has sought to allay fears of the local liberals as well as Egypt's Western allies about an Islamic takeover by saying that it would not field its own candidate for president elections are set, and here's the date, May 23rd through 24. However, it says, let me move down here so you can see it. It says that appears to have changed. And now you got this Mohammed Hussein, the Brotherhood's general secretary, told the Association Press on Wednesday that his group has been forced to consider the option of fielding a candidate for its own risk. So here you go. You're going to, what you're actually seeing is you are seeing progressions. You are seeing the road being paved to the Psalm 83 war, because the people who are being put into power now are those people who are going to be soon coming against Israel to fulfill Psalm 83. And this is one of the main reasons why you should be watching the news and to see the Islamic section of this party taking over the Egyptian government. And by the way, since they have taken Mubarak out, the peace process it's been stalled for the last 3 years, but Egypt had now called Israel #1 enemy, as I posted for the last couple of days. That documentation is also at my site that you can scroll. So there's a lot of news that is connecting to Bible prophecy. And again, if you want the book that shows all of these events, and I'm trying to keep this book up as current as possible, and you can get it today for free. But here's the bottom line. Everything that the Lord told us in Scripture about the last days is coming to pass. Most of the prophecies are already fulfilled, and there's only a few left that will have to be fulfilled before the 7-year tribulation begins. And now is the time to get right with God. My book was just put together to give you the events that Christ showed us that were going to happen. That everyone should be in the word of the Lord getting close to the Lord during these days, because these are exciting days, the days just prior to the church being taken out. You don't want to miss that. So please, if you are questioning God, if you're questioning and you're searching, let me help you. Read the last Chronicles of Planet Earth today and learn that what the Lord says in the Bible can be trusted, and then you'll want to keep studying and get closer to the Lord. At least that is my prayer for you. God bless everyone. And everyone, please have a blessed weekend. And for those of you who trusted a false prophet about yesterday and you were filled with anxiety, just relax today, put your feet up, and know that Christ is in control, the real Christ. And he is the one that you should keep your eyes on, not somebody who claims to be Adam, the Son of Man, or Jesus Christ. We know when Jesus is going to come back, by the way. The Bible tells us at the end of the 7-year tribulation, Jesus, the Messiah, will be coming back. He's not here, and if anybody tells you that he's here, they're wolves in sheep's clothing.